Sagicor Bank, supporting businesses with guidance and services to create the recipe for success. The time by Sagicor Bank is 7.
Flight or fortune, airfares soar to new heights. Hundreds of derelict vehicles removed from streets by the KSAMC. Murders climb by approximately 144% in St. Elizabeth. In Small Biz Big Dreams this week, we meet a man who services vehicles for a living. And later on in sports, Guyana Amazon Warriors make it 3 from 3 to lead the CPL standings. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Monday, August 24, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you for joining us. Summer is usually the season for taking off, but for some travelers, airfares reached heights they simply could not afford. CVM News has been tracking ticket prices on routes out of Jamaica, with some economy fares climbing into the thousands of US dollars, even for relatively short trips. Now, with renewed pressure on global oil supplies, there are concerns fares could remain elevated. So why are travelers still paying so much to fly? And when will airfares finally come in for a landing? More in this report. Summer is usually the season for taking off. School is out, families go on vacation, and airports are packed with travelers. But for some families, flying high came with soaring prices. And for others, they had to stay grounded. Take one traveler's recent attempt to book a flight covering a little over 500 miles from Jamaica to Miami. The price? More than 3,000 US dollars for economy. An economy seat with a first-class price. And this is no one-off. CVM News has been tracking airfares for some time. In December 2025, a similar flight was priced at roughly 3,000 US dollars. In November 2025, more than $1,000. August 2025, again, more than $3,000. And back in July 2024, about $3,000. For travelers, jet lag was setting in even before they boarded the plane.
It's very expensive. I mean, last year compared to last year, it has gone up quite a bit, and that I don't think that is really, stopping people from traveling.
I come to Jamaica, I try to understand all the while. It's just a 4-hour flight, and it's so expensive. Going to far countries in the east or whatever, we can understand it, compensate for that. But for Jamaica, it's really tight. A lot of people want to come home, but they probably cannot because the airfares is above their budget.
Well, it depends because it fluctuates, so sometimes it's cheaper than sometimes. But it depends on how you buy it anyway. Yeah.
So how you feel about it now?
No? Well, if you have emergency, you have to do what you have to do.
It's rough, but you got to do it because you got to fly, you know. And everything is up, so, you know, you don't have to fly if you don't want to fly. If you can't afford it, you don't fly. You know, there's nothing cheap nowhere around the world. Everything is up. It's not only to Jamaica, all over the place. Everything is high.
And the problem goes beyond any one route. The Financial Times has reported that airlines have effectively been in a standoff over cutting ticket prices. This is even as jet fuel costs eased from earlier peaks. According to the Financial Times, fares remain roughly 10 to 20% higher year on year. Those prices have remained elevated, with carriers reluctant to make the first move and risk triggering a price war. CBS News has also examined why cheaper fuel does not always mean cheaper tickets. Economists call it the rockets and feathers effect. In other words, when costs go up, prices shoot up like a rocket. When costs come down, prices tend to float down like a feather. And travelers may be waiting a long time for that feather to land. Finance platform NerdWallet, citing U.S. inflation data, says airfares in July 2026 were 25.5% higher than a year earlier, despite falling 3.9% from June. And yet another complication is in the air. The Iran war has disrupted oil supplies and shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, raising the question of when airfares will finally come in for a soft landing.
Over 700 abandoned vehicles have been removed from the country's capital by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC. The mayor of Kingston says there are ways to get rid of these vehicles no longer in use that can keep the city cleaner and healthier. Crystal Williams reports.
Derelict vehicles on the streets of the municipality pose health challenges and security risks to residents. Mayor of Kingston Andrew Swaby says the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, has been working to eliminate this issue since the beginning of the year.
Since January of this year, we have been on a campaign to move derelict vehicles from off the streets of Kingston and St. Andrew. We would have moved in excess of 700 vehicles. Most of these vehicles are in a state that they cannot be driven. They are left on the roadside by residents.
He highlighted that persons sometimes migrate without properly disposing of or storing their old cars. Mayor Swaby says this is a growing concern because the car pound used to store these abandoned vehicles is now at capacity.
Apart from that, we have incurred a cost that is not recovered because here you have people who have left their vehicle on the road. We have taken them up and now we have them. The Pound Act has handicapped us because we have to hold it for a stipulated period of time. There are instances where they have gone to auction more than one time and persons have no interest in them.
The Kingston Mayor says the KSAMC is working to dispose of the abandoned cars in accordance with the stipulations of the Pound Act.
One of the ways that probably you can explore is to see if you can find a scrap metal company and allow them and sell it to them. Because there can't be a situation where you have left your vehicle for the municipality to take care of your garbage.
According to the Act and the municipality's regulations, the mayor warns that persons are usually given at least 1 month to remove their vehicles.
It's only when the record turn up, persons make an attempt to remove it. And we're asking persons to adhere to the laws of the municipality because these vehicles on the sidewalk impede pedestrians, especially our most vulnerable persons, the person in the wheelchair, the blind persons. And also if you'll notice when you remove the vehicles, the level of debris that is left there, clearly it poses a public health challenge to our citizens.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Advocacy group Hear the Children's Cry is weighing in on the Education Ministry's new dress code guidelines for students. The group's spokesperson, attorney at law Priscilla Dehaney, says the guidelines are a step in the right direction. Carla Ramdeen has the details.
Spokesperson for Hear the Children's Cry and attorney at law Priscilla Dehaney says the group is leaning more towards the position of the Ministry of Education, which recently issued a document outlining dress code guidelines for students. She explains that the group believes there is a need for a comprehensive grooming policy to help guide educational institutions and provide clear standards for students.
We have seen over the years, quite a number of students and even schools that have been brought through the court for various challenges, infractions due to grooming. And so we believe to create a level of a balance in the schools and to create this atmosphere and environment in which students will understand, as well as the schools, what the rules are and what is accepted and what is not accepted from the school. I think it is a brilliant idea.
Ms. Dehaney says balancing the rights of children is important. She explains the long-standing issue of locking students out of school for breaching grooming policies has been addressed through modifications to the Ministry of Education's dress code guidelines.
What we believe the schools are now vested to do is that with this policy, do not just take it and leave it as though it is automatically known to everyone what is in the policy. But you must ensure that you have several dialogue conversations about this matter. Clearly have written correspondence to the parents in advance, give them ample notice, let them know the do's and the don'ts, let them know prior that this is the rule and if it is breached, this will happen.
The attorney highlighted that cultural expression should be respected, while also acknowledging that there must also be reasonable limitations.
I believe the government and the minister in particular will adopt and adapt as time go on, and we will see some changes. But at this present moment, and we need to remember that right now, if it is that your constitutional right is being affected, that you will have some form of recourse legally. However, if you do constitutional right is not being affected, then you really do not have any standing. And so a child who has a Rastafarian here, is, to my knowledge, the policy would make room and accommodate that. But if you have individuals that do not have any particular religious belief, it's not necessarily cultural more than just being unkept and untidy. This is going to give room to individuals claiming that this is a cultural expression.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
With less than 2 weeks left before the start of the new academic year, concerns are mounting over the slow pace of post-hurricane school repairs. With the number of recorded repairs being around 14%, the government is ready to pull out all the stops. More in this report from Michaela Bailey. Actually, we'll take that story right after these.
Online instead, I beg you tap up online instead. Don't bother hold up the lane and waste people time. Beg you tap up online instead. Download the Mighty Tag app and have fun to your T tag anytime, anywhere, any amount you can spare. Just tap up online instead. Tell us work hard for you. Nobody give them more work for you. Don't hold up them time. Just tap up online. Beg you tap up online instead. Get tripped in the tag and free. That's why you have money for dash way. No join the manual line. Tap up online. Beg you tap up online instead. If the Mighty Tag up it a hurt up your head. Tap up with WhatsApp instead. Send a one text 355-3336. Beg you tap up online instead.
Before the first patty is baked, they are hands that grow what we need. For Jamaica, by Jamaicans. Through every season and challenge, they built with us. They believed. To every farmer, thank you.
Thanks for staying with us. We return to that story where it's less than 2 weeks left before the start of the new academic year, and concerns are mounting over the slow pace of post-hurricane school repairs. So with the number of recorded repairs being around 14%, the government is ready to pull out all the stops. We hear more from Akelia Bailey.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Marlon Morgan, admits the pace of recovery at schools damaged by the hurricane is not where the government would like it to be. However, he says the government remains committed to doing everything possible to restore the affected schools. Senator Morgan was speaking on CVM's lead story on Thursday.
It is concerning the takeaways that we are not where we would have wanted to be at this stage, but we're pulling out all the stops to get there in many instances. And for those schools that will not have their projects at 100% completion come September morning, and September morning here really speaks to September 7. So for those schools, we will have to roll out various mechanisms.
Senator Morgan points to a severe shortage of specialized local labor as the primary bottleneck delaying critical infrastructure work.
The availability of workers have been proving to be a challenge for our contractors. As you can appreciate, a number of the application in relation to the repairs going on in terms of skill sets are, work that requires specialized skills like carpentry and electrical installation and so on. So there is an element of the work at our schools that you can have laborers attend upon, but there's also an element that really sees the contractors requiring specialized skill sets, and of course we do not have a surfeit of that in the country.
He notes that for institutions lagging behind schedule, alternative operational arrangements are already being considered to facilitate teaching and learning on September 7.
We have shifts incorporated, and we also have such solutions as makeshift classrooms. These are really wooden structures with zinc roofing top, and they serve to provide key classroom spaces to facilitate teaching and learning.
Akelia Bailey, CVM News.
Amid a sharp rise in murders linked to interpersonal conflicts, the public is being urged to address disputes early, with justices of the peace and other community stakeholders being called on to intervene before worse comes. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF's Cadet Academy is reporting its strongest academic performance since opening its doors 5 years ago. The Academy recorded high pass rates in several CSEC and CAPE subjects, including a 100% pass rate in CSEC Information Technology. But officials say the achievement is about more than exam results, as the program continues to combine education, discipline, and mentorship. Kevin Black has more.
For the JCF Cadet Academy, the mission goes beyond the drills, discipline, and uniforms. Since its establishment in 2021, the Academy has been using education, mentorship, and structure to help young men who may have struggled in the traditional school system. Principal, Deputy Superintendent of Police Tanisha Johnson, says the approach is built around understanding the challenges facing students.
So as an example, when you work with the youngsters, both girls and boys know, but when you go in a high school and you have an anger management workshop, and when you have that privacy to talk to that male student to say, what are the challenges that you are facing? Don't tell me because I'm a police officer, but seeing me as a mother figure, as a father figure, what are the real challenges you're facing? And so they will tell us, and in turn we'll say to them, what do you think could better the challenges that you're having? And they'll open up to us.
Johnson says the Academy also provides the support needed to help students who have struggled in the traditional school system regain their confidence and find a path forward.
I remember this youngster was brought to the Academy to do the entrance test. Passed when he got 80%. And, you know, through the interview process, we said, talk to us about school. And he hung his head down. Miss, I'm not going to school. So we got interested in that. I said, why? Miss, my father and mother, they bring me to the field, they burn coal, and they said they don't have it. How long is it that you're not in school? It's about 4 months. And SSP books, we had to take a little break so that the child didn't see the tears coming out. And we looked, I consulted with my team members, and I said, but we got 80%.
And in a school?
And in a school. Just imagine if it come in. That youngster came in, 9 CSEC, 2 capes, joined the JCS, and is now a serving member.
And that approach is also producing strong academic results, with the Academy recording its best performance since it was established in 2021.
So for CAPE passes, CAPE Communication Studies, 88%. It's the first time that we're doing that. Information Technology, 93%. Law Unit 1 and 2. So Unit 1, 84%. Unit 2, 75%. For our CSEC passes, English A, 92%. Human and Social Biology, 98%. Information Technology, 100%. Math, 75%. And it's the best we have done since we have started.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
And we'll return to a story where we're talking about a sharp rise in murders linked to interpersonal conflicts.
Superintendent Coleridge Minto says the St. Elizabeth Division has seen murders increase by approximately 144% compared with the same period last year. He attributes approximately 60% of the killings to interpersonal conflicts, including disputes within the home.
The division, however, has recorded 22 murders, and this is in comparison to 9 for the corresponding period. An analysis of the murders shows that approximately 60% of these murders are attributed to interpersonal conflicts that occurred in the home.
He urges justices of the peace and other stakeholders to provide greater support to community members facing disputes, family problems, and other challenges. This, he says, will help to promote peace and stability across the parish.
We have also seen a rise in domestic and interpersonal conflicts in the parish since the start of this year. In these challenging situations, the work of all of us, to include our justices of the peace and all stakeholders, is especially important. As trusted and respected members of the community, you are often among the first set of persons community members approach when experiencing dispute, family problems, or difficulties.
The superintendent is now urging the public to identify conflicts early and seek assistance before disagreements escalate into threats or violence, while justices of the peace are being urged to promote peaceful dispute resolution through communication, mediation, and counseling.
It is therefore important that we identify conflicts early and encourage individuals to seek assistance before disagreements become threats, assaults, or acts of violence. Against this background, I'm making a special appeal to our justices here this evening. Continue to engage the members of our communities.
Angela Melville, CVM News.
Environmental concerns are once again taking center stage with the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, raising questions about how Jamaica manages and protects its natural resources. The organization is pointing to the need for greater attention to environmental issues as development continues across the island, amid concerns about the potential impact on the country's land, ecosystems, and other natural resources. Renee Gordon has more.
JET CEO Dr. Theresa Rodriguez Moody says stronger action is needed to ensure environmental protection is not overlooked as the country pursues development. She says one of the immediate concerns is how Jamaica's natural resources are being managed and protected.
The bigger issue is, do Jamaicans have a right to access the beach? The reality is no. And the beach access policy was really intended to ventilate this issue, address this issue of access. And while it spends a lot of time backstory and history of the issue, talking about where other parts of the Caribbean where the right of access to beaches is something that all of their citizens have, it then pulls back and doesn't really address that issue. And I think this is where we need to be really focusing the discussion. Do Jamaicans have a right of access? No. And then we are pushing for it to be a public commons, which basically is a resource that belongs to all of us, should be managed in public interest for current and future generations.
Dr. Rodriguez Moody says while the development is necessary, greater attention must be paid to its impact on the environment.
The discrepancies in the figures, the government needs to come out and not just start pushing. And I think that's from that, I think that was an interview or a speech that was Minister Bartlett had given, speaking about that, these discussion about beach access is hurting Jamaica. I think that rather than if that is hurting Jamaica, let's deal with the issue of access. But instead, what we've seen is this push about, publicly available numbers. But either way, the numbers that are being put forward in the public domain are the government numbers. It's just that they themselves have this discrepancy. So yeah, it would be great if they could resolve it and let us know, what is the actual correct figure.
And as JET continues to push for stronger environmental protection, Rodriguez Moody says there are specific measures that must now be taken.
You can get a license to privatize a beach, and then public is not available. The only way you can access that beach is if you pay to enter, or you buy a day pass, or whatever. And in many cases, people don't want access to all of these different things. They maybe just want to swim.
Renee Gordon, CVM News.
Professor Senator Floyd Morris says it's been 4 years since apartments were sold to residents of Ruthven Towers in New Kingston, and to this day, he says they're still without proper documentation and several amenities. Senator Morris says the project, which was promoted as a new model of housing development, was done through the National Housing Trust (NHT) and the Prime Minister. He's now demanding answers from the government for perceived delays. Natasha Williams reports.
Unacceptable and disgraceful. That's how opposition spokesperson on housing, Senator Floyd Morris, has described the delays he says residents of Ruthven Towers apartments in New Kingston are faced with after allegedly waiting on their land titles for 4 years.
The homeowners have not received proper documentation for the apartments that they have purchased for $28 million for 1 bedroom and $38 million for 2 bedrooms. And I regard this situation as scandalous and disgraceful because the homeowners in this apartment deserve to be treated better by their government.
The statements were made in a press release on Monday, in which the senator also criticizes the process as a failure on the government to honor his commitments to the Ruthven residents. Mr. Morris is demanding clear answers and reasons for the holdup.
The government has given these individuals a 6, 4, and 9. It's the government of Jamaica and the National Housing Trust, the legitimate owners of the land where this apartment complex was built? When will the Housing Trust and the government of Jamaica complete the amenities that were promised to the homeowners in this housing development?
On the heels of several homes being demolished in Trelawney recently, Mr. Morris also demands that the Ruthven residents should be informed on whether the delay is due to what he said could be an illegal land settlement.
Did the NHT receive approval for this housing development without proper documentation of ownership for the land? These are legitimate questions that the government and the National Housing Trust needs to answer. The residents, the homeowners of Ruthven Towers apartment deserves better.
The opposition spokesman on housing vowed to continue pressing the government and the National Housing Trust, NHT, for clarity on this matter until the residents of Ruthven Towers apartments receive the documents and amenities he said they were promised. Natasha Williams, CVM News.
We take a break. Stay with us.
KFC Summer Bucket. This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the Summer Bucket for $4,700.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Much cheaper toll rates on Trans-Jam highways with a T-Tag until October 31st. Ready to get your T-Tag today? Good news! T-Tag packages are discounted by 50%, down to $1,250 until September 30th. The package includes $500 toll credit that you can use right away. Get your T-Tag today from any manually operated toll booth on Trans-Jam highways or Rubis gas station on the Portmore Toll Road.
KFC Summer Bucket. This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the Summer Bucket for $4,700.
the time by KFC is
7:30.
Now's the time to create those feel-good days. At Courts, find what you need to make your home a place that feels good with up to $60,000 off select items. Get AC starting at $52,999, plus save on TVs, appliances, furniture, mattresses, and more. Get it all with a payment plan you'll feel good about. It's all about feel-good days. Brought to you by Courts, bringing value home. Offers end August 31st, 2026. Conditions apply.
Imagine if I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Prevention is critical. That's why I recommend Colgate Total.
It's 15 times more effective at fighting the root cause of oral health problems. Prevent problems before they start.
Thanks so much for staying with us. What started with vehicle electronics and sound installations has grown into a multifaceted business serving customers across several areas. Our reporter Kevin Black features Extension Entertainment and its founder Dennis Parker on tonight's installment of Small Biz, Big Dreams.
time on Small Biz, Big Dreams, we seek to highlight a business that services vehicles. This is Small Biz, Big Dreams. What started with a young man learning the basics of vehicle security and audio installation has grown into a multifaceted business. Dennis Parker, the founder of Extension Entertainment, has been in business since 2018, providing vehicle electronics, music services, and auto parts.
I get starting from a younger age, from back in Portmore, where I used to work at Club Janics. And I learned the alarm and trackers and kill switch and how to install radios from over there and so forth. And then I move on to the mobile sound system business. And then I move on from there again to the auto parts business. So I'm in 3 business right now. I try to be and try to do as best and good work. Once you do as good and best work and push out a hard in work, because we work for money, but we still have to do good work on motor vehicles.
For Parker, operating multiple businesses has also become a way of navigating the uncertainties that come with entrepreneurship.
We challenge ups and downs, slow time like what's coming now, don't know, but we finance myself between, that's why I have 3 business where when one down, we can use the next one to finance this one. We have the bike battery for all motorbike. We have the bike battery where we're tropical suppliers with batteries and so forth. So pick up the tropical. And we have the fog light for any motor vehicle. Toyota Vaxi, Probox, AD Wagon. We got that. And we got a large supply and motor vehicle headlight. The LED headlight, we got them. We have the halogen headlight as well. And then we got the air freshener for all motor vehicle. And we come along, we got the initial air freshener that most people need right now in a motor vehicle.
As the business continues to grow, Parker is encouraging aspiring entrepreneurs to remain focused and stay true to their vision, saying long-term success is built on consistency.
You have to know what you want and go after what you need. Because when we just start business, I never have it like everybody else, but as what I said, I go around, look my customer them and treat them very good. So you have to know what you want, and when what you want, you have to go for what you need. You have to go for that. It is not all about money, because enough of the young guys who just start up business, them all about the money, and the opportunity. You have to do good work and know what you need so your business can accomplish. My contact number is 410-2730 and my email address is Extension Entertainment as well.
Next week, I might give another business a highlight. But until then, for Small Biz, Big Dreams, I'm Kevin Black.
And on the international scene, 2 months after the earthquakes that devastated parts of Venezuela, businesses are trying to get back on their feet. Al Jazeera tells us more.
2 months after the earthquakes, the doors are open again. Shops are trading, restaurants are serving, customers and workers are back on the job. But for many businesses in La Guaira, reopening has proved easier than recovering.
With the current situation and the temporary closure of the beaches, the number of visitors has dropped significantly. People still come, but many are now here to bring aid or to see what remains of their apartments. They continue to check in on us because there is a mutual bond between the business and its customers.
For workers like Jose Castillo, being back at work is a sign that daily life is slowly returning. The challenge now is getting customers to spend again.